Learners, welcome back to Reading Distance Learning Style with me, Miss Crawford. Today is May 29th, 2020, and it is K and L Day. K for kindness and L for letters. So I decided to mash them together and find things in my house that start with the letter K. Okay, it was kind of easy for me because I found myself. I'm Kelsey, and my first name starts with the letter K. I also found some kicks, some real sweet kicks, my running shoes, but another word you can call them is kicks, or another thing you can call them is your kicks. I found my keys. I got a kettle, and for my last one, hold on. For my last one, I have kitten, Lila. Oh, she doesn't like to be held very much. Had to put her down. All right, my friends. Put my kettle on the floor. Today, we are going to be reading a book whose name, well, her last name, the author, starts with the letter K, Yolanda King. We're going to be reading this book right here. Curlilocks and the Big Bad Hairbrush by Yolanda King, and pictures by Fanny Liem. Now, my friends, this book right here is a mashup of a bunch of different fairy tales. A mashup is when you take a couple of things and smash them together. They're all mashed up. So you're going to see some things in this story that are similar to a few different stories that you might know. Some things that you might recognize are some things that happened in the story of Pinocchio. You know Pinocchio, right? When his nose grows every time he tells a lie, so he can't lie. There are things that you might recognize from Little Red Riding Hood. Remember, Little Red Riding Hood is the one who went to her grandma's house to bring her some pie. And who was there? Yeah, the big bad wolf. But there's not a big bad wolf in this story. There's the big bad hairbrush. I wonder if the hairbrush is going to be anything like the wolf. We need to be thinking about these things while we're reading. What is similar to some original fairy tales that we know? And maybe what's different? You ready? Curlilocks and the Big Bad Hairbrush by Yolanda King. Pictures by Fanny Liem. Curlilocks and the Big Bad Hairbrush. Oh, and check out her calendar right here. It says that it's Friday, Auntie Day. And it's Friday here too. What a coincidence. Okay, here we go. Once there was a little girl with super curly hair named Curlilocks. Curlilocks. I know somebody with a similar name. Do you? Yeah, Goldilocks. What story is Goldilocks from? Do you remember? Yeah, the Three Bears. Okay, so this is Curlilocks. That's a different name. She lived with her family in a tiny town next to the tallest forest. Now, Curlilocks had a large family. There were lots of aunties, uncles, and cousins. Friday was Auntie Day. That meant Daddy baked a pie for each of Curlilocks' 3 aunties. Auntie Lizzie adored sweet potato pie. Auntie Bertie loved blackberry pie. And Auntie Adele fancied savory chicken pot pie. I'm hungry just thinking about those pies. Curlilocks, here are the pies for your aunties. Savory or sweet, the aunties love their treats. Make sure to bring each auntie the whole pie, said Daddy. Curlilocks plopped the pies into her red wagon and packed her bag with her favorite dream jar, a butterfly net, and her hairbrush. She and the little red wagon bounced along the path to Auntie Lizzie's. Curlilocks saw bright orange daisies growing around an old tree stump. These orange daisies would be lovely next to her sweet potato pie. She picked the flowers and dropped them into the wagon. As she got closer to Aunt Lizzie's pink house, she took a quick peek at the flowers and the sweet potato pie. Curlilocks was anxious to try just a tiny piece. Surely a small morsel from the center would not be missed. Now, my friends, if you were expecting a pie and it got delivered to you with a small piece missing, how would you feel? Yeah, you might feel upset or angry. You might be confused. Who took a bite from my pie? But you probably would not be happy if you were missing a piece of your pie. Curlilocks reached for the pie. Suddenly she heard, "Savory or sweet, the aunties love their treats. But if you eat that pie, the aunties will ask you why." Who said that? Curlilocks looked around and saw her hairbrush. "Oh, please hush, you big bad hairbrush." Whew. She quickly gobbled a tiny piece of pie and then knocked on Auntie Lizzie's door. "Here's your sweet potato pie, Auntie Lizzie," said Curlilocks. "Daddy made the whole pie just for you." "Thank you," said Aunt Lizzie. She gave Curlilocks a hug and lifted the pie cover. "Did someone gobble my pie?" asked Auntie Lizzie. Did somebody gobble her pie? You know. We know that Curlilocks did it. Curlilocks squeezed one eye shut, took a tiny breath, and whispered, "No." Just as she said no, her curly hair grew way bigger. Auntie Lizzie stared at Curlilocks' hair and pondered her gobbled pie. Auntie Lizzie's probably wondering, "Curlilocks, why did your hair just grow bigger?" She sent Curlilocks on to Auntie Birdie's house. As she made her way to Auntie Birdie's house, Curlilocks found a curious rock. It looked like a tiny full moon. It was round and had brown dimples. She gently tucked the rock into her dream jar. The flat bottom and dimpled top of the moon rock reminded Curlilocks of Auntie Birdie's blackberry pie. Make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen? She's thinking about Auntie Birdie's pie. What is going to happen? You think she's going to eat that pie too? Well, we'll see. As she got closer to Auntie Birdie's blue house, she stopped to smell the blackberry pie. She thought about the sweet and tart blackberries. A small smidge would not be missed. Were you right? What is she doing? Curlilocks reached for the pie when suddenly she heard, "Savory or sweet, the aunties love their treats, but if you eat that pie, the aunties will ask you why." Curlilocks looked around, saw the hairbrush, and sighed. She answered, "Oh, please, hush, you big bad hairbrush." She nibbled a tiny piece of pie and then knocked on Auntie Birdie's door. "Here's your blackberry pie, Auntie Birdie," said Curlilocks. "Daddy made the whole pie just for you." Do you think Auntie Birdie's going to be happy with her blackberry pie? No? Why not? Oh, you're right. I wouldn't be happy with the missing piece from my pie either. "Thank you, Curlilocks," said Auntie Birdie. She gave Curlilocks a hug and lifted the pie cover. "Did someone nibble my pie?" asked Auntie Birdie. Curlilocks squeezed one eye shut, took a tiny breath, and whispered, "No." Just as she said no, her curly hair grew bigger, way bigger. Auntie Birdie stared at Curlilocks' hair and pondered the nibbled pie. She sent Curlilocks to Auntie Adele's house. You see, her hair's getting puffier and puffier on top. Why did her hair grow bigger like that? Yeah, she was lying about eating the pie. Huh. We know. Do you know a character? Every time they lied, something else grew bigger, like their nose. As she walked to Auntie Adele's yellow house, Curlilocks heard a buzzing noise. She looked up and found one sparkling pale blue dragonfly. He was flying up and down and side to side. Curlilocks caught the dragonfly with her butterfly net. She let him out of the net and he glided to the top of the pie cover. When Curlilocks shooed that dragonfly away, she could smell the pie spices. Curlilocks peeked at Auntie Adele's pie. One little taste of crust would be yummy. Look, do you see those white bubbles? She's really thinking about how tasty that pie would be. She reached for the pie when suddenly she heard, "Savory or sweet, the aunties love their treats, but if you eat that pie, the aunties will ask you why." Curlilocks looked around and saw the hairbrush. Again, she answered, "Oh, please hush, you big bad hairbrush." She plucked a tiny piece from the side and then knocked on Auntie Adele's door. "Here's your chicken pot pie, Auntie Adele," said Curlilocks. "Daddy made the whole pie just for you." "Thank you, Curlilocks," said Auntie Adele. She gave Curlilocks a hug and lifted the pie cover. Auntie Adele peeked at the pie and then at Curlilocks. "Did someone pluck a piece of my pie?" asked Auntie Adele. What do you think? Curlilocks squeezed one eye shut, took a tiny breath, answered, "No." Just as she said no, her curly hair grew way, way, way bigger. Look at how big her hair is on top now. Auntie Adele stared and said, "Curlilocks, telling me the truth will not get you into trouble. When you want to share, it's good to ask." "Okay," Curlilocks said, relieved. "Auntie Adele, I gobbled a piece of Aunt Lizzie's sweet potato pie, nibbled a bit of Auntie Bertie's blackberry pie, and plucked a piece of your chicken pot pie." Sounds like she's telling the truth. She's being honest. And she's showing integrity. Suddenly, her way, way, way bigger hair shrunk neatly back to place. Auntie Adele gave Curlilocks a hug and called the other aunties over for dinner. They set out a picnic and watched the dragonflies dash around while they ate the sweet potato pie, blackberry pie, and savory chicken pot pie. The end. And look, there's another version. Curlilocks and the 3 pink pandas. Oh, that sounds like Goldilocks and the 3 bears, if you ask me. 3 panda bears and Curlilocks. Oh, hoo-hoo! Another silly fairy tale. Well, did you guys figure out how this book is similar and kind of different to other fairy tales that we know? I saw something that happened where whenever she lied, her hair grew bigger. I also know that she was bringing pie to somebody in her family, kind of like how Red Riding Hood was doing that. Was there a Big Bad Hairbrush in any of these classic stories that we know? Is there a Big Bad Hairbrush in Goldilocks and the 3 Bears? No, there's not a Big Bad Hairbrush. Or in Little Red Riding Hood, is there a Big Bad Hairbrush? No, but there is a Big Bad Wolf, right? So how is this similar and different to the classic fairy tales you know? Let me hear you tell me one way it was the same. What did you notice that was the same in this book? Oh yeah, there are some similar characters. That's a good one. What about something that was different? What did you notice that was different? I might hear a couple answers. It's okay. That didn't happen in any of the original versions. Nice job. All right, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you're having the best K and L day that you could have. Make sure you say something kind to somebody special. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. Oh, wait. That's right. Keep on reading. Bye, guys.